We're back.
We're back.
Welcome to another week of the Pumped Up Tea podcast. I'm Taylor.
I'm Sara.
And we are a couple weeks behind now on our
Yes.
episodes. I took a little trip skis to Mexico last week for a bachelor party. And the episode that came out last week was actually meant for 2 weeks ago. But I was a little late when it came to doing the editing, so I ended up posting it on Saturday. So you're welcome, guys, I guess. And now we're just basically going to do like a double episode for this episode.
This will be a big one.
I almost want to rush through last week just so we can get to this week because this one was a doozy.
This was by far one of the best episodes we've had so far.
This was a really good episode.
It was such a good episode.
So, okay. We're gonna kind of breeze through the tea of the week because we know that there was at least a big few somethings to be going on.
Whoa.
Oh man, where do we even start?
Okay, I feel like we should start with the least dramatic of the teas, which is what we had already speculated in either last episode or the episode before of the Jax and Brittany separation, which has now been confirmed. They are living separately, have a marital separation. So that came out this week. Some people are thinking it's PR. Some people are thinking it's real. Lala just said on Watch What Happens Live that it is legit.
It's been very conflicting.
Very conflicting. I am in the camp that it is real, but they are doing it. They're now spinning with PR. Like, I feel like it was like they're separated. The internet found out. So they thought, okay, let's just deny. And then you're like, no, let's just be true about it. And then Lori Kay came in and was like, guys, I had this great idea. Let's spin the separation to get more PR for your show. That's totally not going to flop. So that's where I'm sitting on that.
Well, I mean, at this point, too, even if they are separating, right, and they end up actually like, moving forward for a divorce and stuff, the whole show is completely fucked. Like,
yeah. How do you even, like, talk about, how do you center a show around your married family life when you're divorcing?
And also, not for nothing, but, like, who the fuck cared about the rest of the cast?
No, literally nobody. I don't even care about the Vanderpump people. That's not I care about Kristen. I'm very excited to have Kristen back on my TV. But I could literally give two shits about Jack and Brittany.
Where are you on these rumors, too, that Sheena and Lala are trying to kind of move to the Valley?
I agree with that.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think so. Absolutely.
That would probably be the only hope the show has.
It is very obvious that Vanderpump is on its last leg. And they're definitely testing the Valley to see what it's going to be like. And Lala and Sheena do hang out with Brittany and Jax because their children are friends. So I could see them trying to get their way onto that show and kind of let Vanderpump die and bring in this new show. So you never know. And Jax did say that some Vanderpump people do make appearances on the Valley. So it seems like a legitimate rumor. I could believe that.
Yeah, it would make sense. I feel like also, kind of like what you were saying, all their kids are friends. They're all the same age. I feel like it's more of their place to be in the Valley rather than Vanderpump. Although,
I don't think that Lala could even show Ocean on the Valley.
Oh, shit, you're right.
But she could show the new baby. Oh,
Lala's pregnant with baby number 2.
Baby number 2.
Through IUI.
Yes.
Yes, through IUI.
Love that for her.
I have no idea what that stands for, or what that means.
Sperm donor.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, which she has talked about many a times before.
Many a times. Yes. I mean, we heard it, in the first episode of the whole season.
Yes, but even before, not in regards to, Vanderpump the show, she's been very vocal on social media about wanting to have another child, but not wanting to be tied to another human.
Which, after that experience with Randall, kind of makes sense.
Yes, she doesn't want to have to deal with custody while she's... I mean, this custody battle is traumatizing, so I can understand her being like, this is just solely my child, and I don't have to share it.
With literally anybody.
Which seems a little concerning of a mindset, but you do you, baby girl. I'm proud of you. She looked fantastic on Watch What Happens Live.
One thing that makes me feel okay with it, though, a little bit more is she does actually at least have a good support system.
Yeah,
her mom, her brother.
Mom and her brother. Yeah. I just don't necessarily, I like the idea of, there's just something a little unnerving about no one can take this child from me. It's because it's coming out of something traumatic.
Mm-hmm.
And so, it just makes me worried that she's going to be slightly too attached to said child once the child starts to become its own person. That can delve into a little bit of a toxic mom thing, or like in
And also jealousy from the first child.
well, so that's that narrative is a wee bit concerning. Not that I think that is what's happening, but just like as an outside perspective, you see it and you're like, sometimes that line of thinking can lead to something dangerous,
right?
But she is a great mom, so I have no doubts this child will be very loved. And it seems like Ocean is excited to be a big sister. So
She'll be a cute kid too.
Oh my god, Ocean is literally adorable. All right, so that's the tea. Jax and Brittany are separated. Lala's pregnant, and then
we
the
have
big one.
We have the big bad over here,
as they say in NASCAR. The big one.
Yeah. Rachel is suing Tom and Ariana and potentially the whole Bravo network and Evolution
By the way
Media.
That she named, the fact that she named that the lawsuit is just to Tom and Ariana, but others were named in it. It felt like a
lot of others.
It felt like a big indicator that it's a lead up to a bigger lawsuit. Which, like, go off, absolutely, right? Go sue the hell out of Tom. Take that house, right? Take the fucking house. I'm not a fan of suing Ariana, but that is just my opinion.
I mean, from what I've been reading on the lawsuit too, I mean, like, there's just such a small subsection of Ariana and her involvement. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't go any further past just only sending the video to herself, to Rachel, and then just really capitalizing off the whole thing because of all the opportunities she got.
I mean, this is of your own making, bro. Like, none of this would have happened if you didn't sleep with a taken man. But absolutely sue the shit out of Tom for recording that video without your consent. Absolutely. And if Ariana did in fact send it to people that are not herself and Rachel, then absolutely, because that's not okay. Mm-hmm. But I'm pretty sure that's been proven that she didn't with the cease and desist. So, like, let Ariana have her bag, okay? You took her man. You destroyed her life. Leave her alone. That's how I feel.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the case in a nutshell. Yeah. I believe her court date, from what I saw, is on July 2nd. So we will see what's going to come of that. And I'm really intrigued to see all of the people that are named in court, like James Kennedy and Kristen Doty and Andy Cohen.
Kristen's in it.
Oh yeah, Kristen was mentioned in it.
What did Kristen do?
So Kristen was essentially just used as an example of James's erratic and abusive past.
Okay. But what does James in this lawsuit has? This is why I'm confused. Okay.
This is why you got to read the lawsuit.
I tried. I'm not smart.
So I read so far the first 13 pages out of 18 because I liked. You can get the SparkNotes version from other profiles, which makes sense. That's what a lot of people do, especially when you have life and you don't have really the time to do it. But I unfortunately have too much time on my hands right now, so that's what I did. And so I basically am reading this shit line for line. But as of right now, I just kind of made it through the allegations sections of it. Okay. And they basically just paint the whole picture of what's going on, what Vanderpump Rules is, what Rachel's involvement was in Vanderpump Rules. Rachel, obviously, as everybody knows, was the girlfriend of James Kennedy, hence her introduction onto the show. James Kennedy was, at the time, very erratic and abusive and an alcoholic, and all of which was mentioned in the lawsuit. And to then, I guess, show a deeper history of his behavior, we mentioned Kristen, who apparently he was physically abusive towards on camera, but it was never aired because Bravo covered it up. And LVP was then mentioned as well as James's biggest protector.
Okay, but you know what? That goes hand in hand. That goes hand in hand with them covering up Rachel asking Tom on camera, why did you record that without my consent?
Which, by the way, was also mentioned.
I did that. Yep. I did know. Okay, that makes sense now. So it's used as further proof of Bravo protecting.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Oh, spicy.
Yeah.
Like I said, take the house.
I think what we're gonna do
take the house.
We're gonna have a whole other episode at some point of just breaking down this court case, and ideally we'll do it before the court case happens. So we'll get a bigger picture. We'll really just highlight the key points. We don't obviously have to read it word for word or anything, but just the key things that are mentioned that everybody's really talking about. I think it would be cool for us to cover.
Yes. All right. So that's the tea of the week. The tea of the week is spicy. Super spicy.
Oh, one last thing.
Okay.
Lisa Vanderpump with TMZ getting confronted about, what her reaction was for the video. And in true Lisa Vanderpump fashion, not really knowing at all what she's talking about for the sake of protecting Tom. She had to be corrected by the paparazzo, and basically, she tried to take the route of, oh well, if you didn't want your porn getting out, why would you send it out? When she clearly had to have known at this point in the game, like that she obviously did not send it anywhere because she didn't know it was happening. And then she had no reaction. None whatsoever.
We've known since last year at the reunion. Okay, so 3 weeks from now, right? 3 weeks from now, a year ago, so a year and 3 weeks, we all found out that the video was made without her consent. Okay, so we've known that fact for a year. Lisa, I'm mad at you. That's so, how do you not know? Come on.
It's that selective, blindness or something. I don't know what it is.
Misogyny is what it is.
Well, that's the thing, right? And I feel like a further example of Bravo constantly covering shit up goes back again to Stassi when Jax was showing everybody her sex tape.
Was it Jax?
That's what it seemed like.
No, it was.
That's why she took that season off in season 2, 3.
No, it wasn't Jax who had. Jax wasn't the one that was in the video. It was the guy. Frank. It wasn't Jax. It was Frank and Jax. And Jax and Sheena were the ones that were showing it around the restaurant.
Yes.
So it wasn't a video that Jax. It was a video from Frank. And Frank was using it to get money, and he was showing people, and Jax and Sheena were then also showing people.
But either way, nothing happened to them.
So, like I said, Rachel has every right to sue the shit out of Tom for this.
I feel like everybody would have been way more encouraging of this lawsuit if she just left it at Tom.
If you left it at Tom and Bravo, I would be standing on my chair right now, clapping the fuck out of this girl. Go off.
Girl, we were rooting for you. We finally changed tunes for you.
I was so Team Rachel a week ago. We had been texting and Snapchatting while you were away after we recorded the last episode. I was like, I feel like I'm finally
coming around to
Rachel because she on her podcast. This is what makes no sense to me because on her podcast the week of this lawsuit dropping, she was taking accountability and saying how she felt bad for what she had done to Ariana and all these things, and then to turn around and do it
just feels like a psych.
I feel like I have whiplash. I have societal tea whiplash.
I'm very confused. So all that credibility that she had just spent the last 8 weeks building is gone. It's hurt. I don't understand.
If you have actual proof that Ariana sent that video and did what Sheena and Jax did, right, to Stassi and showed it around, you have every right to go after her for that because that is not okay. And as I am an Ariana fan, I'm not going to lie and pretend like I'm not biased. I am an Ariana fan. But if she did something wrong, absolutely sue her for that because that is not okay. But if she didn't, and you are just big mad because she is getting a good outcome of something terrible that you did to her, you did this to her, that is not okay. And for you to blame her for the vitriol that you are now getting is also wrong. She didn't go out on podcasts. She didn't go out in the reunion and say, I want everyone in the world to send hate to Rachel. Right? She didn't say that. She didn't say that.
At all.
At all. The hate that you are getting, it is the same as Tom. The hate and the shit and everything, they are consequences of your actions. This is happening because of what you did. If you didn't sleep with Tom Sandoval for 7 months in front of her face, under her nose, this wouldn't have happened. Also, in the lawsuit, I just remember this. In the lawsuit, she said that Ariana knew.
Yeah, I was actually just about to bring that up, too. Yeah, she said that she reprimanded the two back in December of 2022 because they were being too handsy, and then told them to save it for season 11 because she knew that she was on the chopping block, and they knew that
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to swear. She quoted reality blurb. How is it even a credible source? Okay, continue. questions.
But we'll save it for another episode. There's
Yeah.
so much to go into. So, obviously these are just the immediate things that come to mind because those are the big headlining, topics of this lawsuit right now. I'm sure that, by the time we do record our take on this, there's going to be more. I feel like there's definitely going to be more coming out.
We can already dissect like half of the things you said because you said on the podcast with Bethany that the moment that she got that text from Ariana is when she knew Ariana knew. But then you can't go now in another legal document and say, well, she knew.
There are more things that contradict what she said on Bethany's podcast. So again,
what's the story?
Well,
what is the truth?
Right. That's again.
What is it? Because that's where you're losing my support.
Mm-hmm.
Is the flip-flopping. Pick one story.
And stick to
it. That's it.
Yeah.
And personally, of all the people involved in Scandoval, the only one that seems to be telling the truth 99.9% of the time is Ariana.
Yeah, and she really doesn't have to say much.
No, her answers have been the same. There has never been a moment where you're looking and like, that doesn't coincide with what you said on this date. We're with Schwartz, with Sandoval, with Rachel, you can go back and say, but you said this on this date, you said this here. Like, none of this is tracking. Ariana's the only one that's been consistent. I saw the video on his phone. I sent it to her. I sent her the "You're Dead to Me." I deleted the video. We had a fight. We broke up. Anyway, so that'll be a fun episode to deep dive in.
But yeah, we covered pretty much a good amount of it. So we'll go straight into episode 5 because we're going to be recapping both episodes 5 and 6. Because
I have
missed
opinions
a lot
on episode 6. Episode 5 was a fever dream to me. It was very triggering.
I feel like it was a good simmer point leading up to the boil that was this episode.
Yes.
So, I wasn't quick enough to write them on my actual notebook, which I have in front of me. But it's on my phone.
The notes.
Yeah.
She makes notes faster than I do. I leave the note taking to her. She hears my thoughts and then writes them down.
Well, it's because I didn't have my notebook with me at the time that I was watching the episode because I had literally just gotten back from vacation. I was tired. I was in my bed. I did not want to move. So I took my notes on my phone today. Okay. But Graham is back. He is now hippie, and now he's headed to Tahoe, which is interesting because we originally found out that hippie was back in the picture at Tahoe, apparently. Mm-hmm. And then there was that whole scene from the week before where they were reunited at Vanderpump Dogs. So I want to know, is the scene at Vanderpump Dogs, was that the staged one? Was that the one that was scripted to make sure that they avoid talking about the storyline where he was about to be euthanized? Because it seems sus.
I didn't think about it like that.
Yeah.
I didn't think about it like that. Now I don't know because I thought that the Vanderpump Dogs was legitimate, but now I'm sitting here now that you said that, I'm sitting here processing and I don't know because then I thought Tahoe was, but no, I think Vanderpump Dogs one is the, but then it doesn't make sense because James didn't look surprised in Tahoe. He was just like, yeah, guys, hippie's here. I know the whole thing is weird to me. I don't like the whole thing.
It could be because he hard launched that hippie was back in Tahoe, and maybe that's just what the public perception was. Like, oh, they must have been reunited in hippie.
But the whole thing I don't like because if the dog is that anxious and nervous and skittish.
He seemed very well behaved.
He did, but if you're telling me that he was fighting people and he was this nervous, why are you taking him from James? You give him to James, you take him from James, put him on a plane with people he doesn't know, and then reunite him with James. I don't like it.
Yeah, that's true.
I didn't like that.
That's a good point.
I didn't like that. And then give him this whole big loud celebration. He's around people he doesn't know.
Well, he knows these people technically because Graham's.
Well, I meant like the plane people and like the traveling to James. You give him to James, then to take him back from James. To then give him to James again.
Yeah.
In a louder, more obnoxious setting. To make you look like a hero.
I will give you my thought on what you just said, but I can't say it before we go into the next episode because hilarious that you even brought that up.
Brain twins.
Right.
Okay.
We share a brain cell sometimes, so that brain cell I think just lit up.
No, we did it in the kitchen earlier making dinner. I said something. I was thinking something about Sandoval, and she said it out loud. And I turned around and I said, I just thought that.
Tom is crying because Sheena and Lala said hi to him, but then very quickly went back to playing the everyone get over it card. The what?
Look at my tiny violin, Thomas Sandoval.
He wailed like a baby because they said hi to him. Don't act like you were that fazed by them hating you.
He wasn't.
Well, why? Why is it that big of a deal?
I can't say what I was about to say.
Why?
Oh, you have to cut. I hear you.
Say it for the Patreon. Save it. Say it for the Patreon. She said it. But you guys aren't on Patreon, so you didn't get to see it or hear it. So sorry. It's only $5 a month if you want to join our Patreon. Yeah. So
no, I didn't. Like I said when you were just mentioning this, I think I blacked out a lot of this episode. It was very hard to watch as someone who is overcoming narcissistic abuse. It is very hard to watch. There was just something about last week's episode that was just too triggering. Yeah. And I didn't soak in as much as I normally do because it was just the way that Tom was acting and the way that people were just so. It was just something about that whole episode. I was just
icked out.
The ick was there. The trauma was responding, and I blacked out. So, take that as what you will.
So then in the next scene, Sheena and Brock are still fighting, but only now they're doing it in public.
I said this to you in the kitchen. Right conversation, wrong time.
Wrong place, wrong time.
Wrong place, wrong time, correct conversation. You do need to have a constructive conversation about her anxiety and her postpartum anxiety. A bathing suit store ain't it.
That's a weird place to make them do this and have this conversation.
It is, but you can see that it's something that's weighing very heavily on Brock's mind.
Rightfully so.
Rightfully so. You just got married and your mother-in-law is at your house every damn second of the day because your wife doesn't trust anyone other than the two of you and her mother.
And it's not exactly like the kid is all that young. No, she's not fresh.
Summer's like almost 3. I feel for Brock because I can see that he wants so badly for her to be okay.
Mentally free.
Yeah. And for them to be able to go and do couple things and be in this. Technically, if you think about it, they're in their honeymoon phase. They only got married a year ago. There still should be in that honeymoon.
I was going to say, how long... I guess they were coming up on a year.
On their 1-year wedding anniversary,
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, wait, no, because
they got married in August of 2022.
Yes, but didn't she say at the wedding last year that her and Brock had already been married because they went before?
Oh, yes. So 2 years. Okay. Yeah, no. So 2 years married, 1 year since the actual wedding itself. Like,
okay, well then I could
the wedding ceremony.
I'll still say like a honeymoon because like your ceremony is like a big deal.
I mean, they made a whole episode out of it, so it was a big enough deal.
Well, like she said, like they just wanted to get married, they did the thing, and then you have your whole. I feel like the ceremony adds another layer of like emotion to it.
Mm-hmm.
So I can understand him wanting to have this, the honeymoon phase of just them, their little family, being a couple and having their baby, but getting to be like lovey-dovey and like do whatever they want in their own house. But you can't really do that when your mother-in-law is like right there, like. Yeah, because she said, she said last episode too that they ended up in the bathing suit shop. He talked about how they let Tori go.
Oh right,
because the family she was working for had a baby. The other family she was working for, and Sheena didn't like that she didn't get 100%, so she fired Tori. But yes, but that's why Brock was upset because they finally had someone that Sheena trusted, and but then she said no because she found a reason. Basically, she found a reason.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, right conversation, wrong place. I almost think this is something that they should talk about with like a therapist, like a middle, unbiased person.
Well, unfortunately, we know that Bravo doesn't provide therapy.
Bravo needs therapy.
Well, guess they're gonna have to go out of pocket. I guess they must already be in Tahoe. I kind of quickly wrote these notes down.
It was not gonna lie, last week's episode was
kind of
was
coming.
not it. No.
I wrote Sandy is preaching guided meditation on top of sobriety. So he's basically saying, oh, well, this is how I'm doing all the work, you know, so you guys can forgive me and get over the fact that I fucked my girlfriend's friend.
Get fucked. Go away. Show some okay.
Show some couth.
So some accountability.
We have the unveiling of Graham. He's now officially hippie. Now everybody knows. Sandoval probably shit himself a little bit.
I loved Allie in that scene going, well, Rachel changed her name, so why can't hippie? It's a new beginning for everyone.
You got my next note. Raquel is now Rachel.
I love Allie. She's just like, well, just why not?
Yeah, everybody has a fresh start now.
A fresh start. Yeah. If James naming the dog Hippie is going to make him feel more centered and make the trauma of that whole thing and the absolutely Hippie can have a new name.
Well, I feel like it's also just better for the dog's development too. You know,
clean hands of everything that happened beforehand. Let's just wash our hands, right? Get some soap, wash our hands. New beginnings for all. New name, you get a new name, you get a new name, you get a new name.
Now we have a scene of Ariana basically going over the estimate for all the items that she owns in the house, which justifies why Tom's buyout offer was trash.
This home, I looked it up recently. It is like, if I'm not mistaken, it is like $2.1 million home. And he wanted to give her 300-something thousand.
Well, he said he offered $3.1 million.
Bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, it probably is because he was so strapped for cash.
Bullshit. No, he offered, and File said the offer that he gave her was bullshit. She owns half that house. If you want to buy her out, buy her half.
It also makes sense to include the value of the items that she herself bought inside the house.
That's right, because she was going around, she was on the phone with their decorator. That was custom. I picked that. Those chairs I picked. I actually found it really funny. All of the things in their house that I love, that like over the years, Ariana picked. I'm like, the pink chairs, I'm obsessed with those pink chairs. The chandelier, obsessed. The bar stools, obsessed. Like all of the things in their house that I like adored, she picked.
Yeah, I believe that.
Which I love. I was like, oh, good, we have the same taste.
I want to know what they did with the Legos. With the Lego portrait, I guess. I
love the Lego portrait.
Well, I love half of the Lego portrait.
I love half the Lego portrait. I want a Lego portrait. When I get married someday, I want my wedding present from you and Max to be a Lego portrait of me and my future husband.
Don't say that too loud. He might actually really like that. Right, babe?
Thumbs up. 2 thumbs up.
Next scene, we are officially, I guess now we're officially in Tahoe. They're touring Wolf, the new restaurant that Lisa is putting together.
Photo shoot with a legitimate wolf.
Oh my god, that scene was wild. That scene is weird. It was hilarious.
She's weird.
I downloaded the wrong Beauty and the Beast.
There is a kink that she has, okay, that we all have just figured out from that scene, okay? Weird. But like, go off, Lisa, okay? If you love it, I don't know. It was weird. I get a weird.
We also have the scene where everybody takes the mallet and starts smashing at the wall, and they start naming all of the things that they, I guess, resent the most from the year. And I believe Sheena did the restraining order.
I'm gonna do it already. All right, I'm gonna do a Sandoval reenactment.
Oh, you better get up for that.
Scandoval!
Fucking Scandoval!
Scandoval! James Kennedy!
Worm with a mustache! Lala!
How about you show some accountability? James Kennedy! That's my favorite part of that whole scene. Lala's sitting there like, you're gonna take any responsibility. Lisa comments, he hears Lisa's comment and just goes, James Kennedy! Okay?
Like, oh, we're just
Myself! So cringe. It was so cringe. And like, this dude, no one thought you were cool in that moment. It's like, you know, you could, in his head, he was like, I am so cool right now. I am setting the record straight. They're going to feel so bad for me. Look at all these horrible things that are happening to me, and I'm being said, Sandoval's a liar. Tom Sandoval, look me in my eyeballs, okay? All right? People will stop being annoying to you when you take some accountability. Okay? You worm with a mustache.
Sweet Lady Jane.
Sweet Lady Jane. I'm sorry, that whole scene was just so cringe. It was so extra, unnecessarily extra.
Well, this was a great segue because
Beautiful.
you know what scene ended up becoming more awkward?
Oh,
The whole dinner scene afterwards where Lisa goes, why don't you say one nice thing about Tom Sandoval?
Lisa, what is one nice thing I can say about Tom Sandoval? Here's my nice thing.
And lastly, Sandoval gives James an apology much faster than he could with Ariana.
I said this to you earlier. I say a lot of things to her, but I said this to you earlier. The way he is so quick to listen to the men and apologize to the men, but not the women, is so disgusting. It is gross. Because you saw it again tonight with Brock. The way he was so quick to, I'm James, you're right, I'm sorry. I really did hurt you, you're right, we had a really beautiful friendship, blah, 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 blah. What about the fucking woman you were spending your life with, bro? Does she not deserve an apology?
Also, like, within the span of 2 weeks, how do you go from, oh, well, what about that thing you did with Kristen? Like,
Because, listen, that apology was not sincere, okay? He said it because, he simply said it because he knew it's what he had to do to get out of the doghouse. Like, that's all that was, okay? That's all that was.
Yeah.
He said it because he had to, because the only way to move forward is to apologize.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's calculated. It's a calculated narcissistic move.
And just like that, afterwards, the episode basically ended. It was a very abrupt ending, so it felt. And I was just,
dumb episode.
I was a little surprised that it had gone by so quickly, despite how little had happened in this entire episode.
There was not enough Ariana and Katie.
I know.
But I really respect Katie for taking the pay cut by not going on that trip and taking the pay cut to stand by her friend.
Well, it goes back to what we've said, too, in previous weeks. I mean...
It's her only true friend.
Well, yeah, it's her only true friend because she, too, was with one of the Toms.
Also, like, why the fuck would either one of them want to go on a vacation with their ex-husbands?
Yeah, like, that's weird.
I wouldn't.
That's weird.
Regardless of if our other mutual friends were there. I'm not vacationing with you.
Like, we are not in good standing as of right now, so there's no reason.
She barely wants to have a conversation with you when you hand over your dog custody times, okay? Why do you think she wants a vacation with you? I'd rather stand by my friend and work on our cute little sandwich shop.
I would rather eat a jean jacket.
All right, we on to this week?
We're on to episode 6 now.
Episode 6.
I mean, like I said, last week was a big nothing burger. It was a slight simmer that led to the boil this week. And this, I think, was a great episode. We needed this. The fandom needed this.
We needed something to hate.
Mm-hmm.
We were getting bored. I was getting bored.
Well, we've been hating for the last 5 weeks. 6 weeks. But
yes, but it was very much the same thing over it. I'm so sad. I love all my friends. Ariana needs to get over it. Me. Say something nice about Tom Sandoval.
So, yeah, we go straight into the next morning in Tahoe. Lala and Sheena are talking about Tom, how basically if this was a vacation just for them, he would not be there. And I kind of do believe this at this point in time. And then we get hit with the most random shit from Sheena about how during the pandemic when she was pregnant, her podcast was canceled. There was no money coming in. And she just woke up one day to thousands of dollars from Sandoval, and this felt very out of place for me because why are we hearing about this now? You know?
How does a podcast get canceled in a pandemic when you do it out of your house?
I don't think she does is the thing. I think they go to a studio.
Oh, do they? I think we're coming back then.
Yeah, I don't think they do it out of their house. They probably could if they wanted to.
We do it out of our house.
Yeah, we do it out of my house. So
I don't know. You mean it's not like she got canceled like Jax and Brittany and Stassi? Stassi's podcast legitimately got canceled because of the shit that she did with Faith.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. You can't tell how you're that down on money. I don't know. I didn't like it. It felt icky.
Good as Gold wasn't collecting all of its royalties yet.
It's been stuck in my head since I made that Instagram video.
Now, that scene quickly comes and goes, but this is, I think, now planting the seeds of how much closer Sheena and Lala are getting, and you could tell that they're. And we're not going to go into it yet because we're not at the end of the episode, but we will get there.
She can see my face. She can see me stewing.
We will get there. So Ariana's doing her shoot for her cocktail book, which you said it earlier, but huge kudos to how quickly she was able to put that thing together.
Stunning.
When she's doing it herself.
It's amazing how much she can get done when she doesn't have 54-year-old's
man baby.
I'm sorry, I switched those numbers. 45-year-old man baby.
But now at least she has the memories of this new cocktail book.
God, I love it.
And it's is it not a New York Times bestseller?
Yes, it is.
So
I love that for her.
What other cocktail book?
Yeah, what other cocktail book?
This is the cocktail book.
I don't know if you saw, you probably did because I only, when Scandoval dropped, you only had to listen to it from me and you weren't quite in it yet. People were posting the fans that had bought that first cocktail book with them, they were posting photos of them like blacking out Sandoval's face on it.
I do vaguely remember that, actually. I remember seeing
it's really
some of that
nice
stuff.
to see her do a book by herself and have really fun named, like what baby sister? What was that one?
Oh, like a little sister or something like that. Yes.
Like a little sister. Betrayal.
I really do want to try out some of those drinks.
We should really get that book.
We should.
Oh my god, it could be a set decoration.
Ooh, we could also.
And then every week we can make a single AF cocktail.
Yes.
Be little bartenders.
That would be fun.
It'd be so good.
Then we have the yoga. Oh shit, the yoga instructor comes in. And I know we heard a lot about this over the summer when Sheena was kind of spoiling a little bit on her lives and stuff, that she got partnered up with Tom for this yoga or meditation session that they were doing. Well, now we finally get to see it. And Tom is giving the instructor the rundown as if she doesn't already fucking know what was going on. About Tom, his having dated this girl that was in the friend group.
God.
And then he started fucking her friend, and then everybody was hating him until now they said hi to me, and now they're somewhat starting to forgive me, even though that's not at all what was happening. But okay,
the way
you
he
do you.
Said, I was dating this girl. He said this girl. He made it sound like they were not dating for a fucking decade. This girl, I cheated on this girl that I was dating. Your fucking life partner, you own a house together. You have pets. You were trying to get pregnant. You had a book. It is not this girl. It's not some girl. Like the fucking audacity.
So we're finally watching the yoga class after Tom gives her the debrief and basically is like, can you make this a little forgiveness meditation? And production purposely, I think, sits Sheena and Sandoval right next to each other.
100%. 100% I was thinking that. I'm like, Brock was late on purpose.
And then he just strolls in so that they can play with Sheena's emotions while not giving her therapy afterwards.
No, that absolutely felt like a production intervened and made it so she sat next to him. I did not like that at all. It felt really icky. It didn't feel natural at all.
Yeah. So that happened, and they make them sit back to back. This wasn't really what I imagined when Sheena was saying that they had to be partnered up for something. I thought it was going to have to be more intimate than that for some reason. All they really had to do was sit with their backs to each other and lean on each other, and then they had to face each other, which, yeah, sure, I would feel pretty uncomfortable too if I had to look someone in the eye who really fucked over our entire friend group. But you know, obviously you can see just the misery in Sheena's face.
I don't think it would have hit her as hard had her mental state not already be so bad.
Yeah.
I think if she didn't have the postpartum OCD,
and she was already fighting with Brock.
I think if she was in a better state, it wouldn't have hit her as hard. But I genuinely... I went through this a lot this episode. I genuinely was I wanted to go through that TV screen and just hug her so badly because she looked so miserable and hurt and anxious and just she was a full on mental breaky. It was she was in full mental breaky mode.
It's really hard to allow your hatred and anger at somebody to really eat you up. And I've personally dealt with that before. And there's no resolution really coming out of it.
No. And
but you have no choice. No. You have to you just have to forgive and let it go.
Well, I mean, you can let it go without doing other of those things.
It's just easier on your mental to do it.
But I can see that, like, the outcome that she wants is never going to be the outcome that she gets. And I think that's, like, probably the thing that she's struggling with the most she wants this fantastical thing where she gets to be BFFs with Ariana and Tom
at the same time
in the same way that she was before it happened, and that is just never going to happen.
No,
it's never going to happen. And I think that she was really struggling to let go of that, like, fantasy.
Mm-hmm. And it's going to be hard for her to let go of the person that he was too.
Yes, well, they definitely had moments of great friendship, and he definitely was at times really good friend to her, and I don't doubt that.
Yeah.
But you chose your side. You chose your side. Now you have to stand steady on that side. Or come to terms with the consequences of changing sides. Not that you know what I mean? Like, if you that desperately want to be friends with Tom Sandoval again, then you have every right to do that. But you have to deal with the fact that Ariana is going to distance herself from you. You can't have it both ways.
Mm-hmm.
And she wants it to be both ways. And that's why I think she was really having this, like, why it's so heavy on her.
And it shouldn't be anything new to her. I mean, she's been dealt with this situation many a times in the past when it came to fights with Stassi and fights with Kristen and fights with Katie. Like, I feel like this one just hits a little bit harder, though, because she and Ariana have been so close for so long, and they've really not had that much conflict over the years.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know.
Listen, it's like the saying says, a friend to all is a friend to none.
Yeah.
And Stassi has said it for years. You have no loyalty. You see it. She's a friend to all. She is a friend to none.
I'm looking forward to seeing what comes of this during the after show.
Sometimes I really wish Stassi was still on the show because she would be having a goddamn field day with this.
Oh my God, she would.
Her and Katie would be like the best backup for Ariana right now. Oh, yeah.
Well, Katie's already doing it.
I love it so much.
Yeah. Yeah, so actually we do go straight into Katie and Ariana getting lunch post-shoot. No major conversations as of yet with her and Sheena, but I mean, they ask, I don't really know what really came of this lunch. What even happened? What were they talking about?
They were talking about Sheena's text message. Sheena texted Ariana in the middle of her mental breakdown in the guest room. As I texted Ariana that this really emotional thing, which I don't think she should have done, two needed to do. You could have told her after the fact or later on when you were calmed down. That was a very, I can't think of the correct word.
Oh my God.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Oh my God. What's the word?
Yes, that word.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to say irrational, but it was,
intrusive?
Not even intrusive.
No.
Oh my God.
The word is there. Okay, the word is there.
I know.
You know what I'm trying to say.
The brain cell is brain selling, yes. But I don't remember what the word is.
It didn't need to happen. It was something formed out of a bad moment. You know, like when your anxiety is that high, sometimes you don't listen to the voice in your head that's telling you to send this text message.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't need to do that. She could have called Ariana later on that night when she was calmed down and said, hey, this is what happened today. This is how I'm feeling about it. Just letting you know. Because that text message it
didn't need to be sent.
It didn't need to be sent. It put a bad taste in my mouth all the way around. Like, Ariana didn't need to know.
It's almost kind of like saying, I'm feeling this way. I hate having to hate him because you want me to. It's like, why are you even...
Yes. It was me.
Yes.
Me.
Also, Brock and Tom are fighting.
Oh, Brock. I was so team Brock for like 80% of that scene.
That was amazing. And this is where everything really starts to become fun.
Your girlfriend sent a restraining order on my wife.
Mm-hmm.
Go off, King.
And he said in the talking head that Tom's camp spread the rumor about Rachel and Brock How fucked up. And this is how you know he fucking did that shit, okay? Tom Sandoval said to Brock, you will not find any evidence that happened, which obviously means that it happened. It means I did that shit. I had my people do that shit, and I made sure that it was not going to get back to me, but it still came from your camp. You fucking did that shit. And now I feel
you
like
point the fingers, 3 point back at you.
I feel something came full circle here with the Rachel and Brock rumors, and I feel very satisfied.
I know.
I'm surprised that didn't get out.
I think we all kind of speculated at the time. It was just a weird rumor. Like, all of a sudden it came out of nowhere. We were like, what the fuck?
I didn't put it past, though, that it would have just been some rando, saying
just, like,
that
stirring the shit, right? Like, keeping this Scandoval narrative going.
Yes. That's what I kind of was expecting out of the whole thing. But I also was not into Vanderpump yet around this point in time.
Just me.
But, yeah, I remember those rumors.
It is so sleazy. It is so sleazy to throw that. And again, why does Sheena want to be friends with someone that does things like that? Your supposed friend started a rumor about your newly wedded husband was sleeping with same friend, and you're just gonna be like, but he's a really good friend to me. He's not a good friend to you. That right there was proof.
Yeah.
He will throw you under the bus. He will throw your marriage and the father of your child under the bus in a heartbeat to take the pressure off of him. And that's someone you want in your life?
Yeah, so this argument took place in the gondolas, but then by the time they got off the gondolas, Brock was already apologizing to Sandoval because of, we don't know.
I think...
But really quick, before we go back into this topic, a moment for Mohegan Sun.
Mohegan Sun!
We love we were actually, Max and I were just there this weekend. We went to go see a comedian, Tom Segura. It was awesome. I love going to Mohegan Sun. That's one of my favorite places.
Was that where James was a few weeks ago, or was that Foxwoods?
Oh, shit. He went to Foxwoods.
He
went to Foxwoods. We have 2 casinos here. They are both within like 5 minutes of each other, and love them both. So, listen, we don't love that Tom Sandoval had to be the one to make this happen. But he did do a show at Mohegan Sun.
It was a free show, but if I'm not mistaken. By the way, it was a very exciting moment for us Connecticutans.
Yes.
Mohegan Sun!
We rewinded so fast because I was like, oh my god, when is Mohegan Sun?
It's very exciting when like the place that you live gets like thrown into the shows that you like. Mm-hmm. Like, oh my god, I know that place.
Like, oh my god, I was just there.
I bended there.
Anyway, yes, let's go back to what you were originally saying.
So now that I'm removed from the show and I've had some time to process this apology, I think he wasn't necessarily apologizing for what he said, but his delivery
of how he said it. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he wasn't apologizing for being upset. He was apologizing for the tone, which is absolutely something you can do, right? You can get your point across without yelling and using foul language. Mm-hmm. I don't know how to do that, but it is possible, right? And I think that's what he was apologizing for. Not because he continued that conversation sitting there where he apologized, but then he still brought it up and they were still talking about it, but in a more constructive way without yelling and being emotional. So I think him apologizing was just like, look, I came at you the wrong way, but this is something we really need to discuss. Mm-hmm. So I think that's why he was apologizing. So I take back my anger of being mad at Brock in that moment because I don't think he was actually apologizing for what he said. Just the delivery.
It was just how he said it.
It was the delivery, yeah.
I mean, like, Brock still has... I'm glad that somebody other than the girls felt the need to really speak up. And, I think it means more. Because I know that, Schwartz had tried saying stuff to Sandoval, and James has obviously said things to Sandoval. But because they've been in the friend group for so long, I just don't think it comes off the same way as it does coming from Brock, who has... technically been an outsider of the friend group, but he's been in for a few years now.
He's been in for a few years, but not when he came in. He and Sheena started dating right before the pandemic, and then we had the pandemic season, and then so it was.
By the time season 9 happened, Brock, I think, was already cemented into the friend group.
Yeah, but it didn't feel the same. He still felt like a wee bit of an outsider, like Rachel did those first couple seasons, and Allie still kind of feels like an outsider a little bit, even though her and James have been together for a while. But I think him being this outside source, right? Like he is not a he is friend group adjacent. Like he is not in this group from the beginning. He's in it because he's married to someone in it.
Yeah.
So I think coming from him, it was a little easier to swallow because it's an outsider. It's not Sheena. It's not James. It's not Lala. It's like someone that's just, he's only here because of Sheena.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, it's someone that does not, he probably doesn't connect him so much to like the hate and the aggression and the podcast because he's just like, well, he's just married. He's just the guy married to Sheena.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it was a little easier. But that, and Tom always listens to other men before he listens to a woman. So
Sheena and Lala then addressed the photo that had been seen, the very first group photo since the breaking of Scandoval, since the reunion. There was a lot of controversy surrounding that photo.
Yes.
That Sheena and Sandoval were standing next to each other. So then people automatically assumed that
which I think is really
all was
dumb.
Forgiven between the two. And honestly, I feel like I remember there being a reaction,
Yes.
but obviously when you don't know, because they were obviously filming.
That's why I had a hard time being mad about that photo when it came out because it was obvious that they were filming, and I'm like.
And also, if they're standing next to each other in a photo,
that doesn't mean they're gonna go apple picking tomorrow.
It was
friendship bracelets.
It looked like it was just a photo with a fan. So
that's because that's what it was. But when I saw it, it's not you. I mean, that's some mental gymnastics to jump to conclusions like that.
Yeah. So we'll talk a little bit more about that photo because it's going to be readdressed at the end.
I'm still fuming.
Yeah. We cut back actually to something about her, Katie, Ariana, and what's her name?
I want to say Penny.
Penny, yes. Penny had worked with Lisa Vanderpump at her restaurants for many, many years, and now she's working with Ariana and Katie
I love that
for something about her. And they're doing their interview process, looking for staff. And I didn't say this to you because I wanted to wait until we started recording, but this scene immediately brought me back to Tom Tom when they were doing all of the interviews at Tom Tom, right? It's also because I did recently rewatch all the seasons.
Right.
So the scene where Katie and Ariana didn't get to ask all of their interview questions was a mirror image of when the Toms wanted to ask questions at Tom Tom. Only they were more aggressive about it against Lisa.
Their questions were dumb, where the girls' questions were probably legitimate.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God! And then that was when James got fired while they were doing interviews.
Yes.
And now
he went to beg for his job back.
And then this one, Sheena calls.
Yes. Oh, yes. Okay, we finally get the FaceTime then because they're all out on the boat.
Yes.
Which, by the way, Lake Tahoe looks gorgeous.
Girls trip.
That looked awesome.
Yeah.
I would love to go.
Absolutely.
That would be so fun. Yep, Sheena FaceTimes Ariana and Katie. Well, originally Ariana, but Katie's there for the ride.
Yeah.
And of course, she once again starts trauma dumping on Ariana.
Oh my God, Ariana's face was iconic. She literally, the looks, and Katie's side eye to Ariana, the entire scene was like.
I loved the eye roll that Ariana did because, I understand you're feeling a type of way. You don't want to hold on to this hate, and that sucks. I didn't love Ariana's side of the conversation either because, and rightfully so, she's allowed to put up her boundaries and stuff,
yes.
But I think you can still do that without
having sympathy for what your friend is feeling.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Because it's yes, obviously, she has no reason to be bringing it up to her after what he did to her. But at the same time, it's you can have sympathy for your friend and not discount her feelings, and also not feel the need to be yeah, that's the position that he put you in,
Yeah, I didn't like that either. I didn't. You can
it was a little aggressive.
It was
not so. I'm very conflicted on that situation.
I think that aggression though really shows how hurt she really is still.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is what makes me mad when people are she's already moved on, she's fine. Because that aggression right there, that quick little, he did that, that bite that she had was the pain coming through.
It was.
She's doing very good at trying to overcome it, but you see it in moments like that where he's brought up and she has to talk about it, that she's still so hurt.
It's like, yeah, she's booked and she's busy, but that also means that she doesn't really have the time to sit and process what she went through.
You can hear it when he's brought up in conversation. The bite that she has in her voice, she is angry still.
And Sheena even said it in the very first episode of the season. I don't think that Ariana fully processed what happened to her. So then fucking act like it.
Well, okay, now it pisses me off now because I forgot about that. You're right. She literally said she hasn't processed it yet, but now you are sitting here being like, she's fine.
Yeah, she's fine.
3 weeks after you just said that she didn't?
Sheena is torn right now. She don't know what to do. Like, I don't know, dude. I can't really imagine being in that position, but I just want to say if I was in that position and one of my really close guy friends, fucked over one of my really close girlfriends in such a way that was so sick and twisted, like fucking her friend, I don't know if I would want to be friends with that person.
And using her mental health.
And weaponizing her mental health as a reason.
Her mental health as a reason why.
Yeah, I don't know if I could do that.
That is not a good person.
Yeah.
It is not a good person. It's the same person that just dropped a rumor that your husband, the father of your child, is sleeping with the same mistress.
So stupid.
Like, take your blinders off, Sheena. Again. You don't have to be friends with everybody.
And now here's the boil that we were waiting for. Lala and Sandoval. Yeah. Lala and Sandoval are having a very different kind of conversation than what he had with Sheena. And Lala is going to say what she needs to say.
I thought we were at a different. You're right. Lala comes first before the other one.
Lala came first.
I'm so angry about the last scene and I forgot about Lala.
This was an amazing argument because Lala said all the most perfect things. And I wrote this down in quotations because this was the line of the episode. You isolate, you groom, you lie. Mic drop. The way that it hit when she said you groom specifically, I felt that so deep in my soul. Like, I've been in this position before. I've been so horribly treated by a guy, and to the point where I have isolated myself from all of my friendships.
It's abuse.
Yeah, it is abuse. Yes. It really hit so deep when Lala said that. And that was like the moment for me.
The visceral reaction you and I had when that came. We literally both gasped like we've never breathed air before.
Thank you, by the way, Vanderpump producers, for putting the subtitles in because that Tom was really trying hard to make sure Lala couldn't get a word edgewise.
Yeah.
Because if you remember what Ariana said in the reunion last year, that Tom's biggest tactic when somebody is saying something about you that you don't like is to just talk over them and make sure they can't get a word out.
And be louder.
Mm-hmm.
And the producers said bet. The editor said bet. Mm-hmm. This is what he said, guys. This is why I feel like this is so funny because you can very clearly see the producers have one narrative that they're pushing, and then sometimes the editors will come in and you can very clearly see that the editors are trying to push it a different way because they'll do those montages tonight where you very clearly...
I was just again our brain cell is brain celling because I was just thinking about how I forgot to mention that.
Yes, the montages are so very clearly anti-Sandoval. Right?
It looked like a horror movie. It was so good.
Which is cracking me up because you can very clearly see the difference in how certain sections of Bravo think. The producers are very much pro-Sandoval, protect Sandoval, push redemption Sandoval. And then you've got the editors in here that are like, he said groom, she said groom. Here's this really awesome montage of flashbacks to horror music. You're welcome. I think it's hysterical.
That was so good.
So good.
That was a really good one because the yoga instructor said, look back as if you're watching a movie or something like that.
Did you notice that majority of those scenes were very early Vanderpump?
Yeah.
Which I think is extremely telling.
I thought that was awesome.
It was very such telling
a good touch.
The only good parts of their friendship were the early years before things really blew up.
Yeah.
like the show blew up wise. You know what I mean? Like a lot of those scenes were like from 1 through 4.
Because once Tom and Ariana bought the house, right, that's when things really started, I think, going downhill for their relationship. And that's when Tom starts to really
His
become
narcissism,
more self-centered.
I think when Jax and Stassi got fired.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because then
Those
suddenly he was the number one guy in the group.
Now I'm the number one guy in this group, and his ego went from down here to up here. I mean, he always had a huge ego, but
I'm the main character now.
But he went, finally, it is my turn, and he just...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But, oh, that montage was beautiful.
Ooh, yeah, so...
Again, bravo.
Bravo,
editors.
Bravo, editors. Bravo, Lala, for saying what you needed to say. I'm not thrilled at the hug that you guys had afterwards.
Grody.
Yeah.
Grody.
It's like they say what they really need to say. And
then they like ruin it.
Also, Sandoval, you should have taken your fucking sunglasses off so we could see your eyes.
No, because he knows
when you say that.
He's a terrible liar.
His apology.
I've said this for years. He is a terrible liar.
Yeah.
Terrible liar. I don't know how people believe his lies because he's terrible at lying. You can see it in his face. That's why he kept his sunglasses on. Because remember when they first started talking, his sunglasses were off, and you could see
him looking around. There was
no sincerity in his eyes. There was no soul when she called him dangerous. You are dangerous. You're this. You're this.
Terrifying.
You're terrifying.
Yes,
you're terrifying because she was looking in his eyes and seeing the soulless narcissist. And then he put his sunglasses on for the apology because he clocked what she said. And she goes, okay, I have to change
my tone. Yeah.
My tone and if she can't see my eyes, she can't see the fact that I literally could give 2 shits right now. I just want to be back in the group.
So now he's officially cracked the girls. Or at least 2 out of the 3, because Allie gets to stay outside of that nonsense.
I'm not a dog in the street anymore. I'm just a dog in the backyard.
And now I can finally say what I meant to say earlier about taking Graham out of a loud environment, putting him around people he doesn't know. Now he's going to be around all these people screaming on a boat.
Poor baby.
With nowhere else to go. I'm like, God damn it, guys. Graham just came back.
Poor baby.
Hippie just came back.
He just wanted to be with his dad and his new mom and get snuggles, and he had to deal with fucking Sandoval.
He's probably like running around like, why is everybody yelling?
I wonder if he got to go swimming.
I hope so.
Justice for Hippie 2024.
We thought that the episode was really going to end there. It came 9 o'clock, and we were granted an extra 15 minutes.
An extra 15 minutes that sent me into a rage.
We're like, oh shit, wait, we're still going.
And it was very obvious that there was still more to be
There was more to be said.
I appreciate that they were like, no, we can't cut it here.
And it was well worth it because
you could tell they didn't really want to edit out like any of that fight on the boat. They really tried very hard to keep it in its entirety.
It also shows too that next week they really are going to try and shift gears from Tahoe because they were leaving the next day. So they really wanted to get whatever was left
in Tahoe in one episode.
Pretty much. Yeah. Whatever was left in Tahoe, you got to keep in that episode. You can't just put it in the next one. So I appreciate the Bravo editors for doing that.
They could have cut out they could have cut out like a lot of the stuff in the beginning of the episode. I'm going to be honest. There was like probably 15 minutes of the beginning episode that I didn't need my time.
Yeah. But yeah, then we go into Scheana and Lala. Finally, their true colors are showing. And they are jealous.
We're going to send her, okay? Because if I don't send her, I'm going to rage.
Yeah, this was a very, very bad look.
That was vile.
Everything that we've been saying for the last several weeks is now being shown.
If I was Ariana, right, and I'm watching tonight's episode, and I hear the shit that those two just said, immediately blocked. You're done. It's over. Gone.
Well, remember, too, they did the after show only a couple months ago.
Oh, shit.
So she had to have watched it. But I am looking to know. I mean, obviously, Scheana and Lala still went to her Chicago performance. And I still see Ariana comment on pictures of Scheana with Summer Moon, so they must still be in a good place. I just want to know how they came back from that. That's what I want to know.
I'm sorry, you don't come back from that.
The part where Scheana said, where Ariana got Dancing with the Stars, even though she knew that's what she always wanted. That's what did me in. That was my confirmation right there of everything that we have been saying all this whole time.
I cannot You can feel that, right? You can have jealousy for your friend. We said it last week. We said it the week before. I can understand. Jealousy is a human emotion. I can understand being jealous. Sometimes I get jealous of like my friends, what my friends have, right? We don't voice that. You don't talk that voice out loud. You don't give that emotion any more thought than that split second of saying, I wish I had what they had. Then you put that away and you're done with it. You do not say on national television, how dare she take Dancing with the Stars? Because this is basically what she said. How dare she take Dancing with the Stars when she knew that I wanted it? Are you fucking kidding me?
Oh, why can't I have just one moment be about me? I think
Girl, you make every moment about you.
That's the thing. Like, I can understand, and we've said this before in the past, that Sheena's had every event that has been supposed to be about her ruined by the show, but she ruins it by then trying to force it on everybody.
She's been talking about Sandoval and Scandoval on all these podcasts and saying, me, me, me. Rachel had that in edit on her own Instagram about her podcast with Sheena that would say that consistently every podcast that she did since Scandoval happened, Sheena was about me and I'm sad and this restraining order and this and this. Girl, it is literally always about you. You make it about you every chance you get. And now you're going to be jealous that your friend who just had her life blown apart? Her life just got blown apart. Her entire vision of her future is now ashes on the ground. Mm-hmm. And you're going to be mad that she's getting something out of it? And then for Lala, to back that up with Ariana needs to get her head out of her ass. I have never wanted to say fuck you to someone more in my entire life.
Like, first of all, I'm sorry that you didn't get the same opportunities that she did. But at the same time, this all just happened a few months ago.
Get her head out of her ass. And then to continue with this narrative that Ariana's actually not that devastated. How the fuck would you know? Does it look like you're really asking her? Only person that has consistently been behind Ariana and checking on her daily is Katie, because you can see it. Katie's the only one. The only one. Even when in the beginning of the season when they were at Tom Tom and Ariana was upset, not one person at that table really asked her how she was, if she really was okay.
Yeah.
It was Katie and Lisa.
Yeah.
That moment is maybe no more than 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And you want to tell her to get a head out of her ass, but what about our feelings? What about hers? What about hers? Right? What about hers? It is 4 months. It does not matter if she has a book deal. It does not matter if she's dating somebody else. It does not matter that she got Dancing with the Stars or she's doing Chicago or she's doing these commercials. That does not negate. One thing does not mean that the other is now gone. She can have these wonderful, beautiful opportunities and still be fucking devastated. Yeah. This is someone that she saw herself spending the rest of her life with. She had said during the entire hiatus of the show, right, before it came out, before filming, that she loved Tom and their life was great and she was thinking about having kids and all of these things.
And they were still intimate.
And they were still intimate. They were still sleeping together while he was sleeping with somebody else. You do not get to dictate how upset she is because of outside things that are happening. Just because she's got a commercial, just because she's getting Dancing with the Stars, and just because she wants to try and move on does not mean that the hurt is not still there.
I really want to know now, right? Obviously, we are several months removed now from filming.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
This lawsuit is now very fresh. I want to know what everybody's thinking about Ariana right now.
They're probably I don't know, none of them but Katie seem Team Ariana at all. They can say they're Team Ariana till they're blue in the fucking face. I don't believe it.
These guys are not going to be standing up for Ariana at this point.
Hell fucking no.
I actually saw I don't remember where I saw it. It might have been Reddit, but somebody commented on the documents of the lawsuit and basically said, "Oh, Sheena's going to be so pumped now that she's been mentioned, because she was mentioned in the lawsuit because she was battered." Mm-hmm. Because again, we're still maintaining that Sheena punched her in the face, and somebody said like now Sheena's going to make this all about her. Now that she's mentioned in the lawsuit, she's going to talk about this until she's blue in the face.
This lawsuit is going to rip the Vanderpump Rules world apart. It is going to.
We'll see.
I really think if it continues to go and the lawsuit ends up being versus Bravo, it is the end of Vanderpump Rules. I already think we're at the end of Vanderpump Rules, to be completely honest.
I mean, at this point, we know now that Rachel's without a doubt not coming back.
Yes.
There is no close to the Scandoval chapter, and at this point
that we want.
It came out today. Sandoval said that he is so devastated by the lawsuit. He thought they were going to spend their lives together.
The audacity, too, to call this woman your ex when she's your fucking mistress. You didn't actually date her, bro.
He also wants to pay her off with imaginary money because he's so strapped for cash. He's going to use his mom's retirement money.
He's already used that money to. He has already used that to open Swords and Sandy. So that money to pay her off, so it doesn't go to court, because he doesn't want to go to court. This is why he knows that he's fucked, right? Yep. He really did do that without her.
He committed a crime.
He committed a crime. So the only way to not make this go to trial is to pay her off, to take a deal, right?
And you know she's not going to take it. If she's smart, she's smart, she won't take it.
No, I hope she doesn't. But the only way he's going to get the money has to come from the house. It got to come from the bar. They don't have their.
If it comes from the house, though, how does this affect Ariana?
I think it only affects his side.
We hope so, because technically the lien on the house affects her.
Yes. I think it. I mean,
she was not under that impression in season 9, but
no. Well, because she was believing the things her partner was telling her.
Mm-hmm. Well, now there's no reason to do that, but
at this point,
the papers have been signed.
Listen, if I was Ariana at this point, I'm just gonna cut my losses and run. I'm just gonna say fuck it. I'm just gonna tell him I want X, Y, and Z out of this house, furniture wise, right? Like I'm done. I'm done. You and your mistress, I'm fucking done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And for that to drop on the anniversary of the day that she found out too, that is a whole other level of calculated and hurtful.
Yeah.
Like I said, I told you, this lawsuit against Ariana does not leave a good taste in my mouth. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Crazy too that we're a year removed.
You're just doing it now
from Scandoval, and yet we are not at all removed from Scandoval.
Okay, here's my thing. With this lawsuit, I'm sure we'll talk about when we do the lawsuit episode, but it is a year from Scandoval. Would you not have gone after them sooner than this? And if your narrative this whole time was that she knew, why have you not been saying it since day one? You think that Tom Sandoval, right, because she alluded that Tom knew, right, that Ariana told the both of them to save it, right?
Mm-hmm.
You think that Tom Sandoval wasn't going to let that out last year?
Yeah.
To save himself from the fire? If that was true,
he would have said that on Howie Mandel.
He would have said it on Howie. He would have said it on the reunion. He would have said it a million fucking times by now. There's not one thing about going after Ariana that feels right. It does not feel right.
No.
It does not feel right, especially when you put it up against the cease and desist letters and the fact that her lawyers were so quick to be like, yo, no. Right? They shut that down real fast.
And I'm sure they still have that in Discovery somewhere. Why wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they?
And she was behind you when you sent that letter. She was behind you. She said that was the correct move to do. You're right. That was the right thing to do. Because that video shouldn't be out. Right? She made an impulse decision.
Impulsive! That was the word!
You could have told her after the fact or later on when you were calmed down. That was a very, I can't think of the correct word.
Oh my God.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Oh my God, what's the word?
Yes, that word.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Shit. Oh my God.
The word is there.
The brain cell is brain selling, yes. But I don't remember what the word is.
Came back around. Impulse. She made an impulse decision, right? Sheena made it, sending the text message. Ariana made it when finding that video and sending it to her phone, right? In the moment, probably wasn't the wisest decision to send it to yourself than send it to the mistress. But I can understand doing that because you want proof, because you know it's the people that are that good at lying to your face. He's going to gaslight the shit out of you. It didn't happen. There's no proof. Look at my phone.
Yeah.
Look at my phone. There's nothing on it, right? So I understand that gut reaction to just send it and be like, you're dead to me.
Yep.
Right? Okay? Totally get it. Wasn't a wise decision. Okay? We shouldn't be doing that, right? You should do the video. You don't even talk about it. You could have just said you're dead to me. I saw the video. End of story. I don't like it. I don't like it. Your story has been 5 different ways from Sunday. Pick one.
They're doing a lot of teasing. It looks like we're going to get that episode soon of Lisa divulging her conversation with Rachel. Really curious to know how that goes.
That's right.
Because as Rachel recalled, this was basically Lisa's ploy to try and get her to come back onto the show And they believe this was the final effort that had been made before the line got drawn in the sand.
And she said no.
And she said no.
I really think she should have just come back.
I mean, at this point, right?
If you're saying it was for your mental health, but then you're taking the last, since you got out of that, you're still talking about it. If your mental health requires you to remove yourself from it, why did you make a podcast about it? Why did you go and do interviews about it? If you wanted so desperately to separate yourself from it, you should have just went on the fucking show.
Yeah.
You should have just went on the fucking show.
Like, at this point, it's kind of like what we were saying in our very first episode. She's already gone rogue. I think this is now the most rogue that she can go. She's recapping Vanderpump episodes. What else is there for her to talk about?
You should have just went on the show. If you're still, because I really thought when she said she wasn't coming back that you weren't going to talk about it anymore. We weren't going to associate it with it anymore, right? You weren't going to do interviews about it. You were just going to move the fuck on. You did something terrible and you repented and you've found the reasons why deep in your soul that you did this terrible thing. But then you're going to turn around after you come out of this facility that you spent thousands and thousands of dollars on, and then continue to profit off of this terrible thing that you said was so detrimental to your mental health. It doesn't track. Because when things are mental health problems to a normal person and you separate yourself from it, you don't continue to talk about it, except with like a licensed therapist, but you're not out here profiting off of it. It just doesn't make sense. If you were that devastated emotionally, why the fuck are you still talking about it? You're letting it live. You're letting it live. Because one of the 3 people involved in this has stopped talking about it.
And it was the one that was the most affected by it. Yeah, but what a doozy these last 2 weeks have been. We are now officially all caught up from the last couple episodes of Vanderpump Rules. We will be back next week.
Yes.
We will probably also try to get a second episode in this week about just diving into the lawsuit, because there is a lot to unpack with that one. I'm sure there's going to be more coming out from all of that, and you know, it's so nice to be back.
Oh, so nice. I know. I sent her a TikTok earlier today. It was like, when you and your friend think you're so funny that you can make a podcast together.
And now here we are.
And came up on the day that we were filming, and I was like, I'm so excited. I missed last week. It was really weird, honestly, watching it without you.
I know. It felt weird. Like, obviously, like, I was gone and away and having fun on vacation, but I was like, oh shit. I also didn't really know what day I was in for a lot of the time I was there.
I had a feeling, right? Because you were just consistently doing fun things. I'm like, I wonder if she knows it's Thursday.
Tuesday. So, but like, yeah, I was just like, oh shit, Vanderpump's on right now. I actually had the perfect distraction though. We had a 9:30 dinner.
Ooh.
At a hibachi place.
Ooh.
So I was just like, good. So that means
Was that the night that you and your friend were wearing matching red?
Yes.
So cute.
Yes, we were wearing the same matching red color. And yeah, so this was the perfect excuse to not be paying attention to what's going on in Vanderpump, because I was just out and about having dinner and stuff. Would not do a 9:30 dinner ever again. That's a lot.
I feel like 8 o'clock is the latest I can do dinner.
Especially
like it's snack time.
Especially for a meal as big as hibachi.
Heavy as hibachi. Yeah.
Like, oh my god.
You know, there's people I like watch Below Deck, and they're out here having dinner at like 10 o'clock, and I'm like, are you not fucking tired?
I can't.
I can't eat dinner past. If I eat dinner past 8 o'clock, at that point I'm eating like girl dinner.
Yeah.
It's girl dinner, and it's essentially a snack.
I'm just snacking.
I'm snacking after that. Yeah.
But we'll be back, you know, much sooner than you guys think. And, you know, obviously give us a follow on the Instagram, join our Patreon for all of the fun extra stuff that you didn't get to see on this video. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're still not on TikTok, but I'm working on it. We're trying. We are working hard. We are trying.
Are we working hard or hardly working?
Oh my, yes. But we will see you guys next week.
Bye, guys.